On April 14, 2012, Janeil Odel became the first ever visually impaired contestant to enter the Optimist International Zone's Caribbean District Oratorical contest. The event held in Kingston, Jamaica, she placed second and competing against 7 others from Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Antigua and Barbuda, and Anguilla. We at the Caribbean Council for the Blind would like to introduce you to Janeil, a student at the Combermere School. Her story is one of tragedy and triumph.
At the age of 5, I fell off a bicycle and hit the back of my head. I was having a lot of headaches and stuff. I went to the hospital. They were actually treating me for meningitis and dengue, but when they found out, it was really a blood clot which was in the brain, which had actually stopped the blood from flowing to the optic nerve. So as a result of that, the optic nerve was damaged.
Can you recall anything from that time when you were 5?
I remember having a lot of headaches and just pain all over. Sometimes it was even hard to walk. It was just really painful. I remember not being able to keep down any food or anything. I was in hospital constantly. And I actually missed my 6th birthday party.
Do you have any recollection of when you could see?
I do. I remember actually growing up. I remember going to Christian Girls' School. I remember playing with my friends and stuff outside, and I remember a lot.
Can you recall how you adjusted in the midst of everything?
Now I think back to it, it was actually surprisingly calm. I can't remember actually going crazy or crying.
For many, losing their vision can be a traumatic experience, but according to Janeil, she was surprisingly calm. While her mother was reluctant to speak on camera, she nodded in agreement from the sidelines.
It just took it really, it was just like a smooth transition for me at least, because even though my family, they were all confused and didn't know what to do, I was actually one who was on camera. Yeah, I had to get the blood clot removed, and I had 5 spinal taps, trying to actually remove the fluid from the brain. Yeah, I had to go to America to get some stuff done.
So how did you adjust from being sighted to being blind? Did you have to go through any form of rehabilitation? How did that work out for you?
Well, the only thing I can remember is actually not being able to be in a regular school. So I had to go to the Oratorical school, which was a school for the blind and deaf back then. And that's where I learned Braille and stuff like that. Yeah.
Did you, and you stayed at Irvin Wilson until you went to Combermere? Is that what happened?
Well, since I was not allowed to be in a regular primary school, as I said, I only took a few classes next door to school when coming back, which was a regular, in quotation, primary school. So I could do the 11+.
On completing the high school entrance examination, it was then on to Combermere. But was it a traumatic experience?
Well, it wasn't really hard to fit in because as little children, everyone, they were all curious, and you know, little children just want to know about me, and so we got along actually pretty well back then at Lucky Coming Batch, even though some children asked some really ridiculous questions.
Tell me some of the questions I never asked you.
Most ridiculous questions I hear is, how can you bathe yourself? Do you dress your own self? Things like that.
Did you ever get annoyed with some of those?
Sometimes it gets annoying, especially people say, now tell my friends, answer this question, answer next question. I'll go like, you know I can hear and talk, right?
But then there were also some other adjustments that needed to be made at Combermere.
Well, at first, when I first went there, it was a lot. I had to teach teachers and stuff because obviously they're accustomed to teaching a particular way. And I had to teach them that when they're writing on the board, they have to tell me what they're writing, and just giving out handouts and stuff really wouldn't help me. Any diagrams and stuff they had to explain to me. And at first that was kind of stressful because I had to do extra work. All children can just go home and do their homework. I have to get somebody to read the work to me. At first I had to actually braille out the work, but my father read it to me. so I could just turn and then do it afterwards, or burn out the work the night before and then take it to school the next day so I could do it in class. It was really stressful in the beginning.
But then obviously things seem to have changed after they got, I guess, used to having you in the classroom.
Then technology also.
Yes.
Access to more technology actually.
How did technology help you?
A lot, because not only can I use the computer to do my work with the JAWS program, which reads everything on the screen for me, but there's also the Pearl camera and open book scanner, which actually would scan the books so I could read it on the computer. So I wouldn't have to actually sit down and depend on somebody to read everything to me and burn it out.
While life at Combermere has been a wonderful experience for Janeil, the struggle continues.
I actually do not really volunteer to help. That's the thing. Sometimes I have to actually ask them. But there are some who actually volunteer, ask me if I need help or whatever.
But do you mind that? Because I get the feeling that you're quite an independent young lady.
It depends on what they're helping with. Like for instance, some teachers still refuse to read what they write on the board. So then I have to depend on somebody to actually read it to me. So, like for instance, when I go on certain things like Facebook or anything, how you get on here? Why are you on here? I'm like, I'm normal too. I'm a teenager. Or if I go to the mall, how come you down here? So can I go to the mall too? I'm a normal person.
Do you use a white cane any at all?
I don't. I try to, but I guess I'm scared because the people are sort of sensitive sometimes. Actually at school, children seem so mean. Like sometimes I've been actually trying to do things and they would actually just ignore or just come in the way for purpose. So it's difficult because a lot of children actually try to do things with a spite to or see how I react to it, testing my patience too.
So you avoid using the cane?
I actually want to start, but it's hard to.
What's so hard about it?
But people would react and stuff.
You think it would draw attention to your blindness?
Well, kind of, yeah.
As vice president of the Combermere Debating Society, Janeil made her mark when she won the Oratorical contest hosted by the local Optimist club.
And at first, I was hesitant. I really wasn't interested in internet. Then I told myself, I'll just give it a shot. Because everything just seemed to be going wrong that day. I could not get my speech practiced properly. I just couldn't find the words to say. My speech was too long. I didn't know what to cut out. I wanted to just drop out at the last minute. But then I told myself, just relax. Go and do your speech and get it over with. And surprisingly, when I got on that stage, everything actually went smoothly. And up to that point, I still wasn't expecting to hear that I won, but when I said I was the winner, I was surprised.
What were you speaking about?
How my optimism helps me to overcome obstacles. Yeah, so I actually spoke on my life story and everything, and compared life to a bus when I said that if you actually drive up the hills and turn the narrow roads and cross over the bumps in the road, you'll be able to make it to your destination.
What is it that keeps you going, that drives you?
The fact that I want to prove people that disability does not mean inability. Just to prove to people that because I might be differently able doesn't mean that I'm not able, and I can still do anything that quote-unquote normal people can do.
How supportive is your family? Your mother, she's watching from the sidelines.
Yeah, my family is very supportive. My mother, my father, my brother is extremely supportive too. And my aunts and uncles, everybody is just really supportive.
And they don't feel sorry for you, do they?
I don't feel differently at all when I'm around my family.
Janeil is the epitome of optimism, and for her, the future holds no limits.
I want to be a psychologist. My dream is to help people, to be there for people that really need help, because my parents, they are foster parents, and often there's children who come into our home and they all have different behaviors, and they realize that they all come from different families and that have a serious impact on them. And often a lot of people are misunderstood, and I want to be there to help.
And she had a message for those facing challenges of whatever nature.
Just go for whatever you believe in. No matter what anybody tell you you can't do, just do what you believe that you can do and go for your dreams. Obstacles will always come to stop you, but just try to get over it. Just confidence and just push on and you will get there.